Fire us up from Lenoir University, North Carolina High School Athletic Association state champs. These broadcasts brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. A new home for the state championships. 4A kicks off this morning at Lenoir University. One of the state powers in North Carolina, Reidsville in town. 20-time state champions. It's Brevard's first trip in 40-plus years. A lot on the line in this NCHSAA state championship. Thanks for joining us at Moretz Stadium with Reggie Walker. I'm Evan Budrovich. Reidsville is the king of football in North Carolina with the state championship history. Brevard run the table, undefeated in the regular season. How do you expect this to play out today?
Well, two teams that have clearly been battle-tested, but they know what's on the line. The energy is high. The anticipation is heavy. Look out for a really, really good football game in this one for state championship.
How about our Ingles food for thought? We noted these teams run to the championship. Reggie, what will it take for Reidsville and Brevard today?
I think the big key for both teams, you've got to establish the run. You've got to run the football extremely well and then find your opportunities to make big plays. The line of scrimmage is going to be the key in this football game.
In terms of our key players, it's interesting with Reidsville, this dynamic duo, both Gatorade athletes of the year, one in basketball, one in football. What do these two bring to the table?
Well, it's interesting. You start with Kendre Harrison, the all-world tight end. But now at the defensive end position, playing more and more snaps throughout this playoff run, expect him to try to make some plays off the edge and really create some havoc in that Brevard backfield, especially if they stop the run early, give him an opportunity to pin his ears back and go get after the quarterback. And then on the flip side of things, they still have Dionte Neal. You just talked about what he is on the basketball court. He is an absolute stud on the football field. The big key in this game, where's he going to be? He's one of those guys. Quarterback, they're going to throw it to him. He'll run the football. He can do a lot of different things for this offense. His versatility going to be a major factor in this game. And then on the other side of things, you look at this Brevard football team. Look, at the end of the day, they have to start by running the football. They need to have success in that regard. Listen, at the end of the day, Thompson, almost 7 yards a carry. He's going to carry the mail for this team. He keeps them ahead of the chains. That'll be a major key for this team. And then defensively, you got to look out for Carter McAfee, a guy that's just an absolute tackling machine. He's going to go find the football every single time. 180-plus tackles on the season. This guy absolutely gets after you. Look out for him all over the field making plays.
There are stars everywhere in Hickory, North Carolina. And for more on this matchup, here's our sideline reporter, Hannah Brady.
Yeah, guys, a rematch from 1963, and that game ended in a tie, and the teams were announced co-conference champions. Now Brevard back in the state championships for the first time in 43 years, and head coach Luke Coleman told me that this week has been just like every other week this season, just with an extra day of practice. He spent that day just getting out all the extra emotions so they can be locked in for today. He said the biggest reason for success for his team is their ability to overcome and just their will to win. He says there's still one more though, and the mission is not done yet. Meanwhile, Reidsville looking for their second state championship under head coach Eric Teague, who came on after his father decided he didn't want to coach anymore in 2023. And Coach Teague said that Reidsville has been a part of his life for as long as he can remember. He grew up being the ball boy. He also played in high school, came back as the assistant coach, and now the head coach for the Rams. He said as long as he can remember, his biggest dream was to lead this team to success. So now today, his team and his seniors are ready to leave it out all on the line. We'll see who is going to get that state title today for the 4A state title between the Brevard Blue Devils and the Reidsville Rams coming up next.
in Hickory, North Carolina, first ever trip for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association state champs. These broadcasts brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Hickory's rocking today for the 4A state championships. Reidsville, the kings of high school football, 20-time state champs. It's Brevard's first trip in 45 years. A lot on the line for these two programs and a fun afternoon for high school football. Thanks for joining us in Moretz Stadium with Reggie Walker. I'm Evan Budrovich. Reidsville, not just 20 state titles, they have two of the best players in the state offensively. And this Brevard team, 14-0, ran the table in the regular season. Reggie, how do these programs take home a state championship?
I think the word of the day is defense. You got two football teams that know how to score points. The key for both teams, the resiliency and the ability to stop the other side. That's going to be the key in this ball game today.
Let's dive into our Ingles food for thought. We noted Reidsville's strength on the offensive end. How do the Rams get it done today?
Well, I think first and foremost, they've got to establish the run to get a situation where they get that secondary up to the line of scrimmage. And then obviously they've got to tame the Thompsons on the defensive side of things and make it difficult for Brevard to move the football. If you're Brevard, start with running the ball. That has to help you create those big plays down the field. And then defensively, you better know where number one Dionte Neal is on the offensive side of the ball for the Rams, because he is an absolute problem to deal with.
This Reidsville dynamic duo has combined for over 100 career touchdowns, 2 state titles in basketball, 1 in football. What makes Harrison special?
Well, KJ Harrison, we know what he is in terms of the offensive side of the ball as a tight end, but as a defensive end, playing more and more snaps throughout this playoff run, he becomes more and more of a problem as this thing gets later in the games. Look out for him trying to get after the quarterback. And then Dionte Neal, who we just talked about, he's going to be all over the football field. They're going to line him up in the slot, out wide. He might even play a lot of quarterback in this game as well. He can run it, he can throw it, and he'll catch it. Keep an eye out for him in this ball game. And then on the side for the Brevard Blue Devils, right? You have to understand, they're going to start by trying to run the football with Braylon Thompson. They'll run him inside. He can get to the outside as well. 6+ yards a carry this season. And then defensively, Carter McAfee, he's going to fly all over the field. He's sideline to sideline, 182 tackles so far on the season. Edwin, he's a guy that is going to be the key for this defense.
This 4A state championship is loaded. And for more on the matchup, here's Hannah Brady.
1963, where the game ended in a tie and the teams were announced co-conference champions. Now Brevard back in the state championship for the first time in 43 years. And head coach Luke Coleman told me that this week has looked just like every other week of the season, just with an extra day of practice. He said they used that day to get out all the extra emotion to be locked in for today. He said the biggest reason for success for his team is their ability to overcome and just their will to win. He said that there's still one more left today and that the mission is not done. Meanwhile, Reidsville looking for their second state championship under head coach Eric Teague. And Coach Teague has been around Reidsville football his entire life. He grew up being the ball boy. He played in high school, came back as an assistant coach, and now the head coach for the Rams. He told me every birthday he dreamt that he would bring Reidsville to success. And now his team and his seniors search for his second state championship title today, and they're ready to lay it out all on the line. Well, we will see who comes out on top here in Hickory for the 4th state championship game between the Brevard Blue Devils and the Reidsville Rams.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
I am so
Why can no one help me?
Waiting is the worst. I think it's
Healthcare is broken.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we get it.
Really?
Really. That's why we're making healthcare better for all. Starting with you. Yes, you, Daryl. We're making plans easier to navigate by putting your benefits, prescriptions, and details all in one place. Convinced?
No. But it's a start.
We'll take it. Blue Cross North Carolina. Making healthcare better for all. Starting with you.
Brevard at the 35.
They will call the toss. Queen presents orange's tails. What's your call? Heads. If I drop it, we'll flip it again. It is a tail.
Welcome back to Moretz Stadium. Here's Luke Coleman, 22-2 record in conference, 60 wins overall. And Reggie, this is a program that's built back-to-back 10-win seasons. Impressive in the playoffs. They've come in with a fantastic regular season.
Yeah, they've done an excellent job of just finding ways to win. They've been involved in some close games as well, but they come out on top. This is a football team. They do a lot of the little things right that maybe don't show up on the scoreboard, but they show up by the end of the game.
So that's what Brevard brings to the table. Undefeated, just 5 undefeateds left in the state. This Reidsville program, 20-time state champions. That's the competition. There's Eric Teague. We noted Jeff and his championship resume as a dad. And Eric's searching for his second state title. But Reggie, this team has been battle-tested all year long.
They really have. I think he probably deserves more credit. They, as a team, deserve more credit. Yes, we know about Kendre Harrison and Dionte Neal, but they've got a bunch of other guys that collectively lift this program up, and they continue to have success because it's an entire unit that continues to play well. Look out for them in a special teams game today as well. I think that'll be a key in this ballgame.
Look at this Brevard faithful coming down here to Hickory. Fantastic home crowd for the Brevard Blue Devils. Their first state title trip, Hannah noted, since '82. There's a lot of history for these two programs. Reidsville won on the last-second field goal in the region final over West Craven. Brevard has rolled through the playoffs, which means we got two heavy hitters on tap this morning.
I'll tell you what, the energy in this place is phenomenal. Look at this crowd. This place is absolutely rocking. We got a chance for a great ball game on top of it.
Brand new venue for the state championships, and it's checked a lot of boxes before kickoff. And there's the special man, Dionte Neal, the Gatorade Basketball Player of the Year, ready to get this ball underway. Kickoff here from Brevard in Hickory. And the 4A state title is moving. This is Dionte Neal in his senior campaign. And Neal gets out near the 30. That's where Reidsville starts offensively. It's been a year with changes at the quarterback position. Braxton Johnson, the left-handed sophomore, started the first 5 games, but in comes Tyson Broadway in the last 5. And Reggie, he's let this offense move since he's taken over.
Yeah, Tyson Broadway is an interesting story, right? He's a guy who shows up, and they were kind of concerned. They didn't know how much he could take on right away. And every week he just continued to show, hey, I'm probably the guy. And I love what Coach Teague said. He said some of our players came to us and said, Coach, he's the guy. And that's important because now you know that they trust in a decision. If you make it, they make the decision. And here they are playing for a state championship.
And keep in mind, Dionte Neal will play the quarterback position as well. Here's Broadway's first snap. A lot of time and a quick catch. There's LaDon Hatfield. And Hatfield out to midfield. Nice opening play for 20.
Well, I think that's going to be the key to this game. Everybody knows about Neal and Harrison. Who else steps up? We talked about it before the game, Evan. Who's going to be the third guy offensively? Already getting LaDon Hatfield involved. Now you're going to have to put eyes on him throughout the game. That's going to create situations to get Neal and Kendre Harrison going as well.
That's a Tatum and Atkinson first down. The heavy hitters. And this duo of Harrison and Neal, over 140 combined touchdowns. Some bonkers numbers in 4 years. Broadway out of the pocket. Broadway going deep, and Neal's wide open. Touchdown, Reidsville. The explosive passing game of the Rams. They're the Kings for a reason, scoring first.
This is great recognition by Broadway. Does an excellent job reading this out properly and making the proper throw with accuracy. Didn't put too much on it. That's one you don't want to miss because it's so easy. He's so wide open. Excellent execution by the Rams there.
Dionte Neal, what a difference maker offensively. His 25th touchdown of the year. Now the kicking game. Alex Penaloza, converted soccer player. It's his first year ever kicking. And he shows you why right there. It's going to be an up and down special teams day for Reidsville, but they'll take the 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah, you got to take that in that situation. And basically what happens, you see, as they roll out, Kendre Harrison's working towards the flat. what happens is the safety, Christian Conley, his eyes get dirty. He's looking at the quarterback, trying to make a play on the underneath route to Kendre Harrison, and just loses Dionte Neal on the backside, and Neal's wide open. You see it right there. There's Conley chasing on the left side of your screen. He was looking to try to make a play if the ball went to Harrison. You got to remember, 1 is important, or 0 is important, but so is number 1, and they got him that time with the dirty eyes. And that is well executed. Broadway had to have the patience. Obviously, the protection was first, but Broadway had to have the patience to make the right read and allow that thing to play itself out. He had the patience, allowed the read to play out, and then dropped it in the bucket.
Since taking over, Tyson Broadway has been next level at the quarterback position. See the energy there from only the junior quarterback. He's got more time in Reidsville. They call it the state capital of football in North Carolina. There's a good reason. Came up in the 2nd round last year. Disappointing finish, and Coach Teague noted injuries. We weren't on the same page on the offensive end. But this team's taken massive jumps to win now 12 straight and back in the title game.
And when you got a guy that can ignite your offense like Broadway, right, in terms of being able to make all of the throws, and his feet aren't bad either. He's got the right kind of size. I like his size, 6'2.5", 6'2", about 180 pounds. He'll get a little bit bigger and stronger, but a dangerous guy nonetheless.
Penaloza calls fair catch on that kick. And was there interference here? That was the question from the Brevard staff, and now the flag comes in.
Well, and if I'm the Reidsville staff, I'm frustrated because on a kickoff, that's a live football, and that's a situation right there where number 17, Michael Smith, had a chance to snatch that ball out of the air. And to be honest with you, if he jumps, he probably makes that catch. Instead, he doesn't, and it's likely going to be a penalty.
Here comes our first call from this officiating staff.
Evan, I'll tell you another thing. That might be the first time in the history of my life seeing a kick-catch interference on a kickoff. You just rarely see that. A very, very big-time break that time for the Blue Devils. They start in plus territory.
Christian Connolly, senior quarterback, runs the attack. Connolly's first pass complete. That's Tristan Thompson-Wynn, who's an explosive receiver, over 1,200 yards this year.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson-Wynn is a guy that I think they've got to get involved. That'll help open up this running game for Braylon Thompson at that running back position. Aiden Cantrell has stepped up and made more and more plays. And keep an eye out on this offensive line. Peyton Owen at that left tackle position has continued to grow throughout this season.
5 seniors on that offensive line. Brevard can really run the ball over 200 yards a game. Conley, after the first down, goes to the running game. Here's Thompson getting outside. And a nice tackle in the open space. So 2 early plays, 2 quick first downs for Brevard.
And getting the 2 guys involved that need to be involved. Thompson-Wynn and Thompson getting both guys involved. Just working off to the right side. Nice job cutting to the outside by Braylon Thompson. Really, really well done. Nice execution by this offensive line. And they pick up a first down in what we call near the high red area at the 31-yard line.
That was Demarion Whitted on the stop. There's Brevard first down, play action. Almost picked off. Josiah Somalu stepped in front. He read that pass before the receiver.
Yeah, he really did. He did an excellent job flying up the field from that outside linebacker spot. Devontae Campbell, Cadence Pruitt. Cadence Pruitt is a guy that makes a ton of plays off the edge. Keep an eye on him. They call him AP, Anthony Peel, at that inside linebacker position. And then on the back end, watch out for Dionte Neal, a ball hawk that can make some plays back there.
AP is a ball hawk, 120 tackles as a linebacker. I don't care what level. He's an incredible playmaker. In these 14-game trips to the state finals. Tight end checks in. Braden Crane here for Brevard on second down. Back to Thompson. Kendre Harrison, the Oregon commit at tight end and defensive end on the stop. 3rd and 5 coming up.
I'll tell you what, that type of run there, not that unfamiliar to folks in this part of the world. A little bit of a slow mesh concept there, like the old Dave Clawson Wake Forest offense. So you get a little bit of that involved right there. I like the decision. Good job to give it there, and now you got a manageable 3rd down. The key here is give yourself a chance to stay manageable. Even if you don't pick it up, get a couple of yards and give yourself a 4th and 2, 4th and 1 type situation, because I'd expect Brevard to go for it if that's the case.
Christian Connolly on 3rd down, faces a blitz. It's picked up. There's Thompson Wynn. Nice 1st down grab to the 20. That'll be a big matchup, Neal versus Thompson Wynn today.
I like what Thompson Wynn did on that particular situation. He was very far off the ball. His alignment was very much in the backfield. What that did was create space between he and Neal, so that as he pushed up the field and Neal bailed out, it would take Neal beyond the 1st down marker. Then he could work to the outside and make an easy catch.
At the next level, think of how Kyle Shanahan uses McCaffrey out of the backfield as a receiver. Thompson Wynn has that ability to play all these different spots. Gets Brevard into the red zone for the first time after the Reidsville 50-yard score. Conley looking end zone, incomplete. Through Aiden Cantrell's hands, the veteran senior with 5 grabs this year in the Air Experts heating and cooling end zone.
That's a great job, made the right read. Just got to pull that down, right? He's just working over the middle, little post concept. He spins it in there, and Cantrell, that ball just got on him, I think, a little bit quicker than he expected, and that's why he was unable to make the catch.
It's the efficiency of Conley that's next level. Only 1 turnover, 21 touchdowns. This guy knows how to manage the football in the red zone.
Well, that, if you're a defender, you better make a decision if you're going to put your hands up there, because that ball flies. It zips, it explodes off of that right shoulder that he's got there.
Conley feeds the running back. Thompson cuts right, and a short gain. And that ball comes out late, but it's ruled down on the turf. Eric Teague jumping up and down. He thought that it was a turnover. Instead, it's 3rd and 7.
The officials immediately called that down.
But you saw Reidsville, they got right on top of that ball, too. Makes it close right here.
Take another look here as he works off to the right side. Got to tuck that ball away. I think that's Samalu that comes in there and gets his right arm on there. And right away, that ball is out. That ball is out. But again,
maybe forward progress as well mixed in.
Maybe they call forward progress there, but no instant replay in high school football.
A big 3rd and 7 for Brevard here in the red zone. Play action. Connolly going deep. Touchdown! 4th score for Braden Crane, and the tight end steps up here on 3rd down. We got a shootout lined out here in Hickory.
Yeah, it's just a great job. Braden Crane on a little tight end delay seam concept, and they drop it in there. Nice throw, great job with the patience to read it out by the quarterback, and then puts it up nice and high for the 6'5" tight end to go up and get it.
Big extra point that gives Brevard the early lead. Scores for each club in the first 3 minutes. What an offensive start here at Hickory to the 4A state title.
At Wells Fargo, we believe that doing can make a difference. That's why we've donated over $2 billion to strengthen local communities over the last 5 years. From over $745 million to help address housing access and affordability, to roughly $420 million to help small business owners through nonprofits, to over $55 million to support scholarships and programming for students. Because doing gets it done.
Red hot start offensively here in Hickory, North Carolina, the 4A state title. Reidsville missed its extra point. Brevard put it through, so 1-point lead for the Blue Devils, one of 5 undefeated teams left in the state, and we'll see one more of them tonight with Tarboro in town for the 2A title. Nice resolve for Brevard on that drive.
Yeah, how about this start, right? You give up a big play by Brevard and you go, uh-oh. And then what do? They come back, march right back down the field. and put 7 on the board and take the lead, that's got to give them a great level of confidence. And we talked about how they fight through adversity, they fight through things, give up a big play early, just come back and fight back and put points on the board.
Field position so important in these championship battles, and Melagero's kick goes into the end zone.
Let me add something to the point I just made about overcoming, right? That touchdown that Reidsville scored, who do they pick on? They pick on Christian Conley, who's playing that safety position, maybe got his eyes out of whack there. So what happens? He just comes right back as the quarterback marches his team down the field, makes several really, really nice throws, and gets into the end zone. So that's got to lift his confidence as well.
If you love two-way guys, the Neal-Conley matchup's going to be excellent today. Elite quarterbacks, elite playmakers. And now Tyson Broadway back to work, second drive. He goes short to Neal. Harrison gets a block. Neal breaks a tackle. Dionte gets 8 on first down. He is so tough to stop in the open field.
Yeah, how about a Kai Agupong on the tackle that time, number 3? Because what he did there, he had to play the outside leverage, right? He's the guy that has to leverage the football back inside. He works off of a Kendre Harrison block. Watch it right here. Watch out to the right side of your screen. Kendre, that's a big man going out to block him. He makes him whiff and then steps up and makes the tackle. That is a really, really well executed play that time by the defensive back.
Broadway on second down feeds Michael Smith, the senior tailback, and Smith gets a big run. Tackled in space by Jax Whitmire after a gain of almost 10.
Yeah, that was almost a disaster for Reidsville. Broadway had to really stretch out to get that football in there to hand it off. And Smith does a nice job getting upfield immediately to move the chains.
That was the one area Coach Teague noted with 3 different quarterbacks this year. Working on those exchanges, very important, but Smith, he's been big time in the playoffs. 6 rushing touchdowns in this playoff pursuit. And here's Dionte Neal now in at quarterback on first down. Neal will feed Demarion Whitted. And Whitted's going nowhere. Nice pursuit, including Conley on the stop.
Braylon Thompson made that play. Look, I know the pursuit was there. I understand that you had obviously some penetration in the backfield. But watch Braylon Thompson on the outside, on the right side of your screen. Watch him leverage the football back inside where all the help is. That's how you play. That's how you set an edge, even as a small guy. That tells you how well these teams are coached.
Brevard, 7 tackles for loss last week. They got in the backfield of Maiden in that region final. Neal remains in at quarterback. Dionte so electric with his legs. And Neal is right near the sticks. They'll rule him a yard short. Third down coming up.
That's actually good execution in pursuit defensively. Great job by Neal to get what he could. They ran what looked like a little G-scheme action going to the left. You pull an offensive lineman, pull the right guard to the left, and then Neal goes out the other way. But they stay home, the Blue Devils do, on that backside, and they're able to keep him from getting explosive play up the field.
Eric Teague noted, we need one drive to figure out when will Neal play quarterback. You see the urgency 5 minutes in. Neal on 3rd and short.
Well, the dynamic with him is he can still throw the ball. Like, don't get fooled in thinking he's just going to be in there to run around. He can throw the football and make plays with his arm.
Here's Neal to run it. Has a convoy. Follows those Rams, and Neal breaks free. Foot race, Neal. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown, Reidsville. One of the best athletes in the state, shows you why. Dionte Neal explodes for 60.
It's just a great job. They run basically, you can call it student body, you can call it sweep, you can call it whatever you want. It's everybody go one way and let number 1 pick his gap. He finds a little bit of a crease. He's not the biggest guy, so he can make it through. He finds a crease, and he's out the gate.
Reidsville elected to go for 2. Harrison jump ball. The 6'7" Mammoth brings it in.
It's actually pretty good coverage over there. I think that was Tristan Thompson-Wynn. He got a hand on the football. Unfortunately, he tipped it right to Kendre Harrison. But again, Dionte Neal working to the left side, lined up at that quarterback position, out the gate, down the sideline. Reidsville with the big lead, 14-7 in a state championship game.
It isn't just a feeling, it's a force. A force that turns underdogs into champions, struggle into strength, and concepts into companies. A Legacy and Wake Forest University are proud to partner because we share a truth that belief in people yields the highest returns. Together, we're investing in every dream, every goal, every tomorrow. This is our home. Let's believe.
If you like offense, you came to the right place here at Lenoir Rhyne University, Moretz Stadium. First ever trip to this stadium for the state finals, and 3 touchdowns and 3 drives. So that's just how we drew it up.
3 touchdowns, 3 drives, less than 6 minutes of action. I mean, you name it. We've seen big plays. We've seen intermediate runs. We've seen nice throws. Everything you could ask for in this game, we've seen so far.
So Brevard brings the whole kick return team close, and Penaloza will boot this away, but a whistle before the kick.
I think this is going to be an offside on the kicking team.
That initial pooch kick caused some confusion with a fair catch interference. To your point, that'll back it up 5 yards for Reidsville.
So let's do the math here. This is the 4th kickoff here in the game. We've seen 2 penalties, and we've seen essentially a near onside recovery by Reidsville. So as we talked about, special teams in this game, something to keep an eye on.
Alex Penaloza, fantastic story. He was kicking rubber objects, soccer balls, whatever he could find in the offseason. And Coach Teague said, hey, do you want to try a football out? He recruited him to play on the team. This is his first year booting this ball away to the 30. Fair catch right there.
I love that he gave him some old footballs to kick, right? To make sure he could have some success making those kicks and felt comfortable doing it.
Alex is an all-conference soccer player and wanted to join the most prolific championship club in the state. No one with more titles than Reidsville. Searching for number 21 later today. Reidsville was upset in last year's final, but won the 23 state championship. They want to close out Kendra Harrison and Dionte Neal's career with a ring. But this Brevard program, so good running the ball on that first drive. Here's Christian Conley feeling the backup back. Nyrell Skinner. And Nyrell gets a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, I like Skinner a lot. His ability to hit it up in there with physicality, a little bit bigger of a back. And he runs shoulders down. He'll punish you if you step up in the wrong hole. He'll lay the boom on you.
7 touchdowns this year for Skinner. He's more the goal line back, the physical, heavy back, but that dynamic monster. Over 7 yards of rush this year. Conley goes to Skinner, follows the pulling guard, and truck sticks a safety. Big hit for the first down.
Yeah, he runs over one man, and then Kendra Harrison didn't appreciate it, so he rather rudely put him down. See it again here as he works up the middle. Boom! Bug on a windshield, and then Kendra Harrison finishes him off. But the brunt of that was taken originally by Jordan Robinson, number 4.
It was a Tatum and Atkinson first down, the heavy hitters. Big run for Skinner. Conley against a blitz. Thompson went wide open. And Tristan just keeps going down to the 40. Nice explosive play.
Yeah, I love what they're doing. They're getting the ball out quick. They're identifying where's my off coverage. Yes, that's a long throw, but they're getting the football out quickly. That slows down this pass rush, doesn't give them a chance to really get it going. And that's how you neutralize a good pass rush in the way of a guy like Kendra Harrison, amongst others.
Gain of 15. Today's game is provided by Cook Reynolds. Cook Reynolds running the smart way to get things done. Moretz Stadium, what a welcome to the high school state championships. 4 impressive offensive drives here early. And now Conley with a 2 tight end set in Reidsville territory. Feeds Skinner, and he's stonewalled. This defensive line gets penetration.
Tyson Albright inside, all 6'4", 255 pounds. Watch him come right up the middle. He's probably getting held there as well. Didn't matter. Gets the penetration and blows this play up. That's what you can't have if you're Brevard, right? You can't have those negative plays to get behind the chains. Now, 2nd and long, somewhat predictable situation. I would expect maybe something short in the passing game or potentially run the football here and see if you can pop one.
Conley out of the pocket. He's following some blockers, and Conley spins near the first. Nice run. That's what makes Conley so elusive. He's not the design runs can really be fantastic.
And I love the play call, right? You go, you get a little bit of action following your offensive line. You get a fullback essentially out in the pattern, and Nyreel Skinner, you let him lead the quarterback, little quarterback power, and you pick up 9 yards.
So just a warning, no penalty, but the second sideline warning becomes a 5-yard penalty. Brevard Blue Devils, one of 5 undefeated teams left in the state, had to win an overtime thriller over Pisgah to get to the state tournament, and they've been rolling since, 35 a night. A critical 3rd and short.
Just getting ready to say, under center? That's a foreign concept in football.
Here's Conley feeding Skinner, and Harrison's on the stop. Good pursuit by this Reidsville defense.
We talked about him in the opening, his ability at that defensive end position. He's playing more and more snaps at that spot. That time, the quickness and the great hands to get down inside and make that play. Kendra Harrison, that's big time. You'll see him here. He's on the right side of your screen. Look at him. Just too quick. The quickness right there. He just beats number 72 that time. Niven inside. And all of a sudden, it's 4th and 4, a critical spot in this game.
Conley moving, but the ball comes out. There's a penalty. Does this change the mindset here if you're Brevard on 4th and extended?
I don't think so. And the main reason why I say it probably doesn't is because even if you punt, let's say you punt the football and it goes into the end zone, you're only picking up about 15, 17 yards of field position, maybe 18 yards. That's not a ton of field position to get, so I suspect they'll go for it anyway.
Coach Lou Coleman, all the confidence in the world in Christian Conley. He said ever since the Franklin game in early September, his team was battle-tested, had to pull that out of overtime, said it was a rallying cry for his unit. Anytime there's a 4th down, he wants his offense on the field. So Conley working here on 4th and 8. Play action. There's a blitz. Conley is rushed and put down. But there is a flag.
Yeah, the flag is for an illegal formation. I think they're going to say Thompson Wynn was not lined up properly. You had a wing there instead of a tight end on the line of scrimmage. And that's what it is. I actually don't like this call. And the main reason why is because Thompson Wynn was asking the official at the bottom of the screen. He asked the official several times, was he lined up properly? Clearly the communication not clarified there didn't matter because the pass rush got home anyway.
And what does this say about Reidsville? Their rush ends, the last 2 plays have taken over this game.
Well, I wondered how long it would take before we started saying Cadence Pruitt's name. He started to show up the last couple of plays of that drive. I suspect he's gotten himself involved into this game and feels much more comfortable now.
Our first stop of this first quarter here at Moretz Stadium on Lenoir Rhyne's campus. Tyson Broadway back in at quarterback. Broadway feeds Smith. And Michael Smith breaks a couple of tackles before Whitmire jumps on him, gain of 5.
And this is a big possession for Brevard defensively. They need to get a stop here. You get 2 possessions behind this Reidsville offense, then you start to become predictable yourself on offense, and you have to throw the football, or you're thinking about throwing the football more than you normally do, and that defensive front starts to tee off.
Coach Teague noted our running game doesn't get the heralds, the accolades of the Neals and Harrison outside, but we like to run the football. Back to Smith after a 5-yard run. And Smith is trapped there, just 2 yards, so third down coming up.
Nice job early in the possession for this Blue Devils defense, making a couple of nice plays, particularly that one, getting a little penetration up the field. Ball nearly came out that time. Hold on to it if you're Smith there.
Toby McCracken and this linebacking unit. What a football name, Toby McCracken. Broadway looks to Coach Teague, who anchors this offense for Reidsville.
Yeah, I think they might try to let Broadway read this and get Smith working towards that left side as you see the defense shift.
Here's Neal. Nice sweep. Dionte Neal jukes a man. Oh my goodness, he put him on skates. No stopping one of the best athletes in North Carolina.
They had this thing properly leveraged to the outside, but he just erases the leverage. Watch him right here, a little dead leg against Braylon Thompson, and he's able to turn the corner and pick up the first down. That is something you just can't teach. That's just being an athlete, being a good football player, and making a play there.
180 yards today for Dionte Neal. We're still in the first quarter. This kid is fantastic. Broadway on first down, elects to keep it. Another juke, and for more on this Reidsville offense, here's Hannah Brady.
Guys, you talk about Dionte Neal playing his last football game ever in his career, committed to play basketball at UNCG next fall, and is showing why he is one of the heartbeats of this Reidsville team. Coach Teague told us that he is one of those guys who can go in at any position and use his athleticism to his advantage. Post-game of the West Craven game, Neal said that all they have thought about this season is that second-round loss, and they will not feel that again, but true heart on full display, guys.
Coach Teague noted one of the more difficult guys to tackle in space, and this senior day is going to be tough when Harrison and Neal in this double-digit senior class retires after this one. Whitted goes outside on the sweep. Whitted jukes a man. Demarion Whitted is gone. This Reidsville offense pulling all the tricks out of their bag early here in Hickory.
I was just getting ready to remark about how Dionte Neal, the most impressive thing about him, with all the things we've seen him do athletically today, the ability to get the gloves on and off between moving positions. While he takes the gloves off, makes the right read that time, and all of a sudden it's a walk-in touchdown with Whitted.
We had noted where are the secondary pieces coming from Reidsville today. The stars have to be there, but Whitted joins the touchdown party. And here's Reidsville going for two with Dionte Neal back there. Neal rolls right. Harrison's wide open, and now the point advantage up 15 here late in the first quarter. Right now, Reggie, this Reidsville offense, they're explosive plays, but it's all at the line of scrimmage and causing confusion for Brevard.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're getting leverage on the football and able to get to the edge because of their speed. All they're doing is making Brevard have a little bit of hesitation. If you hesitate for a half a second with this kind of speed, you've got no chance to recover. Brevard has solid team speed, but Reidsville has great speed, and they're showing it. And then right here, looks like he wants to work to the outside, comes back to Kendra Harrison over the middle.
That dynamic senior connection on the two-point play. There's a little bit of history on the line for Reidsville, and you go back in the North Carolina history books, there's never been a set of players with 2 football and 2 basketball state titles together.
It's so hard to be that kind of an elite athlete, right? And have those kind of elite level programs at the same time. Very difficult to do. They've been getting it done at Reidsville.
Penaloza ready for the short kick. And one thing Brevard has done, great field position early. That last drive halted near the red zone.
They've done a nice job moving the football. Just as we talked about, you can't get behind the chains in a big football game. They got behind the chains that one time on that previous drive, and all of a sudden they start losing yards, kind of leaking oil, if you will, offensively, and then they give up a touchdown the other way, and now they're down 2 possessions.
Luke Coleman noted the most selfless team he's had in his 4 years at Brevard. First major deficit of the playoffs for the Blue Devils, #1 seed on the west side of the state. And now Christian Conley with a fresh set of downs, but Reidsville calls a timeout.
Yeah, they couldn't get on the same page with what the defensive call is. Anytime you see a multitude of players walking toward the sideline with both arms out, that means I don't know what we're supposed to do here, or I don't know where someone is. Maybe, it looks like maybe Kendre Harrison was supposed to be in the game and was not.
Yeah, it looks like he's talking to Cadence Pruitt. Say, that's my bad. I need to be on the field. I just caught the 2-point conversion. I had a little time celebrating.
Yeah, they were going to get caught in a situation with just 10 on the field. And look, if that guy's on the field, maybe you can get away with 10. If that guy's not on the field, it might feel more like you're playing with 9 as much as he can do out there. I had a chance to, you know, I've seen, obviously, Kendre Harrison on film and basketball and football. It's the first time I've been able to walk up to him in person. That is a large young man, and he's athletic to go with it. You see why he's done some of the things he's done throughout his career.
Dan Lanning's a happy camper, committed to play at Oregon. He'll head up there in January and start part of a college football playoff run as well for the Ducks coming up.
Well, that's one of the added things, right, that they've actually been able to do. Is you see the Oregon logo on his helmet, is get these guys, the young guys, involved in the bowl and playoff practices early on so they can get acclimated.
Fresh set of downs for Conley, and Skinner on the ground goes right through Harrison. Nice run for 5 yards.
And this is what the Blue Devils have to do. They've got to, again, establish the run and be consistent with it. And right now, at the very least, they've got to make sure they continue to maintain possession through the end of this first quarter to allow that defense to get a chance to rest. Again, a lot of guys that go both ways. Got to give yourself opportunities to get off the field when you can.
High snap. Skinner hangs on, and Harrison in that D-line gets after it. These rush ends, not a team with elite defensive tackles, but the D-ends make so many things happen.
Well, they do, and you add to it, you get a high snap. Now the timing's off as well. That's one thing you can't allow, is timing issues with this kind of pass rush or guys that can get off the edge with the quickness of a Cadence Pruitt and a Kendre Harrison.
That duo's combined for 20 sacks this year. It is dynamic with Pruitt, the junior. He's getting offers up and down FCS football, and Harrison noted his experience. Critical third down for Conley. Blitz coming. Conley goes short, and he's hit. Incomplete.
I think Conley would have been better served to go out to the left side to Skinner, the back. He was all by himself in that left flat. That's probably easily a first down amongst additional yardage. See right there, he made the decision early to go to Thompson Wynn against Dionte Neal. But I think that time, if you go out to your hot read, you check it to your back on the left side, you pick up that first down, you certainly have a completion there to see what happens.
Here's Aiden Cantrell, our first punt of the afternoon. And a bounce there, pins it inside the 40. Well, this Reidsville drive to end the first and now begin the second quarter could really put a statement on this 4A state title.
I think Coach Teague is going to be extremely aggressive on this first play. I would not be surprised if Broadway looks to take a shot deep and again try to maybe put a stamp on this first quarter with a big play down the field.
At times, Reidsville's looked unstoppable offensively today. Here's Broadway back in at quarterback. Broadway feeds the running game. Nice hole early for Keyshawn Henry, and Keyshawn gets 10.
That run by Henry, just working to the right side, follows his blocker, moves the chains to end the first quarter.
So we go to the second in the 4A state title. This broadcast brought to you by Affordable Dentures and Implants. All Reidsville early, but the Brevard Blue Devils don't give up on them just yet. Plenty of football from Hickory when we come back to the 4A state championships.
Robert, go for more. Hurt in a car wreck? Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Let the heavy hitters do it for you. Call 800-LAW-0804 and we'll go after all the money they should be paying you. Stay out of the courtroom and get into the end zone.
Call the heavy hitters. We're attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
Call the heavy hitters. They'll work to get you more. 1-800-LAW-0804.
Have you been quoted for trench drain system to fix water intrusion? Before you compromise your foundation, talk to Foundation Solutions. We provide a more efficient, more cost-effective way to keep your basement dry. With 30 years of experience in Western North Carolina, we bring guaranteed work, financing options, and real peace of mind. Visit foundationswnc.com or call 828-768-2208.
Welcome back to the 4A State Championships presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. These offenses off and running in the first quarter. Reidsville 17 yards to play. Brevard, beautiful first drive, and now Reidsville gets the ball back with a chance to really make a statement here in the second.
Yeah, they really do. Early on in this game, they could really put Brevard in a situation where, look, it just minimizes their offense. It forces them to become a heavy pass team if they give up points here. Big drive here defensively for the Blue Devils.
Broadway feeds Smith in the running game. And look at that, keeps churning the legs. Nice run for Keyshawn Henry that time. Back-to-back touches for the sophomore.
Yeah, Henry doing a nice job getting up inside. Obviously, his first couple of runs, they get him going up inside. Two offensive linemen working their way, almost a counter concept there. He steps up inside, picks up 5, gets him halfway there.
We have an injury timeout here for Reidsville.
Is it an injury or is there an equipment?
So Harrison exits the field. Good news at the high school level, it's just one play, then you can re-enter. So they'll check on Kendre. And now Broadway back to work, the junior quarterback. Broadway rolls out and another whistle.
LaDon Hatfield also went off the field after that previous play. So not quite sure exactly what's going on over there.
Well, in the regular season, when Reidsville's had trouble, it's double-digit penalties. This could be a bugaboo for the Rams in this second half.
Penalties, and the other thing it does, right, in this particular case, now you're behind the chains. Now you're at 2nd and 10 when you were at 2nd and 5. So, again, starts to limit your options. And they're going to make Kendre Harrison go back off the field because that play technically never happened because it was a false start.
Yeah, so Whitted comes back in. He scored the touchdown early in the first quarter. Broadway on 2nd down. Goes over the middle and incomplete. Whitted off, not on the same page.
Well, the umpire also may have had a little bit to do with that. Not his fault. He's where he's supposed to be. But that's always one of those things, right? There have been routes called umpire, right? You just run to the umpire because defensively it's going to be problematic. And if the quarterback can put it in there the right way, it's an opportunity. And here comes this Blue Devil crowd trying to get them off the field on this 3rd and long. Watch Harrison over the middle here.
Whitted in motion on 3rd down. Broadway faces a blitz. Nice screen. Neal gets a block. Neal again. Down the the sideline. Beats Thompson Wynn. Second score for Dionte Neal. In his final high school game, this man's unstoppable. Another score for Neal.
Evan, this was a double screen concept. So they show you the screen look out to the right side behind Kendre Harrison. And then on the back side, they leak two offensive linemen out with Dionte Neal. They throw it out to him in space. Everyone had loaded up towards Kendre Harrison the other way. Now it's Neal on the backside with two offensive linemen against just two defenders. That's 3-on-2, the numbers game. The math says I'm going to take Dionte Neal, and that's a walk-in touchdown.
93rd career touchdown for Neal. These are some gargantuan high school numbers in 4 years. And Penaloza hits the post. No good that time.
Came off the foot strong.
Keeps it a 3-score game. Well, right now, if you're Brevard, how do you flip the script? Reidsville's going up and down the field.
And let's look at this again. See, watch. To the right, it looks like a screen concept, right? And they come back to the backside. There's only one defender out there along with Dionte Neal and a couple of offensive linemen, and that's a house call. It's a foot race, and you're not going to beat Dionte Neal in a foot race to the end zone. Well executed. Great job by Broadway reading it. And there it is. There is nobody, absolutely nobody there to do anything about Dionte Neal getting to the end zone.
Almost 200 total yards for Neal in this first half. There's your scoring summary. And that 52-yard screenplay, the one moment Brevard had a nice opportunity, and then Neal breaks free.
Yeah, 3rd and long. You get him to 3rd and 10. And it becomes a situation where can you just read it properly, leverage the football, and get off the field? And Broadway had other plans. Does a nice job. He looks out to the right. That holds the middle defender from making a play to the left, and then he comes back to the left side, just dumps it off to Dionte Neal, and it's over.
Elite athletes here for Reidsville taking over in this first half. This kick will be returned. And Brevard gets a nice special teams play. Out to the 45-yard line. Good run for Braylon Thompson.
This is what Coach Coleman talks about, right? How they just continue to fight, right? You see a team, they go down 28-7, give up another big play, and you go, how are they going to respond? They come out and respond with a nice kickoff return. They finally decide to return one against that kind of a short kickoff, and they get a nice return. They're out near midfield to start this drive. I think they can't forget about the running game here. There's still time, still in the first half, early on in the second quarter. And also, I think you got to continue to get Braden Crane, your 6'5" tight end, involved down the middle of the field and get some of those linebackers backed up from the line of scrimmage. They're at 3.5 yards right now, those linebackers.
Conley play action, deep shot. Good coverage from Whitted in the secondary. No flag coming in.
Yeah, I think he looked the wrong way. I thought he had Crane up the seam on the other side of the hashes there.
Well, there is a flag actually on the far side of the field.
It's going to be just a sideline warning against the Rams there. But again, working up the middle of the field, I thought Braden Crane had a step on his guy at that tight end position up the left hash, and they decided to go to the other side of the field. That's an opportunity that you'd love to have back. I guarantee they'll come back to that concept pretty soon in this game.
And can Brevard get Tristan Thompson Wynn involved? He's an explosive receiver. Here's Conley against a blitz. Conley going deep. Thompson Wynn can't bring it in, but earns the flag. Well, that's the matchup all day. Can Whitted keep up with Thompson Wynn?
Yeah, they picked on Whitted one-on-one situation. They said, can we get an opportunity down the field? You called it. They got to get him involved. Got to try to get explosive.
And for more on Thompson Wynn, here's Hannah Brady.
Coach Coleman told me this week that Tristan Thompson Wynn was the best player on the field without hesitation. He said he doesn't ever seem to get tired. There's never any sign of fatigue. He just keeps on getting better. He also went from 160 to 180 in the offseason, had a little bit of a growth spurt, and it's just adjusted really nice for this Blue Devils offense. We're seeing that right here, Evan.
Yeah, the ability to make these big jumps from sophomore to junior year. You see it so much at the high school level. Big explosive target.
And that 20 pounds is going to matter, right? That 20 pounds allows you to take some of the punishment that you have to take.
There's Conley going to the tight end. Nice completion, we noted, getting Crane involved, his second catch.
Yeah, I like the decision there. Great job by Conley extending the play, and then just dumps it off to his tight end. Take a look at him here, a little reverse pivot out, and they're picking on Cadence Pruitt. Cadence Pruitt didn't do an excellent job of setting an edge right there, didn't keep the quarterback contained. They get outside of him, they're able to make an easy throw and move the chains.
Now, there was a flag after the play. There was some physicality with Peyton Owen and Kendre Harrison on that left side. So it was on Peyton Owen in that wrestling match.
Interestingly enough, they're giving them the first down. So they still have first down yards, but it's going to be first and about 14.
Yeah, it just basically resets the yardage. Good point. Troy Kessinger's offense has been clicking here in the playoffs. And worth noting, the Kessinger family, Ben, a great senior receiver, great player. Unfortunately tore his ACL earlier this year, but they've rallied around that cause. Now first and long into Reidsville territory. Conley with the keeper. Conley gets a block and loses the ball. Fumble. Reidsville scoops it. Of course, Dionte Neal grabs it.
It was actually the perfect play call. You had a middle blitz coming. They get to the outside. So they had the right call against that defense. He just puts the football on the ground. Watch it here. There's a blitz coming right up the middle. So there's nothing there. But now he's got a blocker in front. Just hold on to the football. He had it high and tight. Just got it knocked loose. Did most of it right there. Just put it on the ground.
Brevard turns it over. Reidsville football when we come back to Hickory.
Life can be tough. The daily grind, the pressures, the uncertainties, it all adds up. Let's be open and honest about our mental health. Let's support each other when we're hurting, because it's okay not to be okay.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of First Source Equipment Rentals and Sales in Mebane and Burlington. First Source Rentals, reliable, safe equipment rentals in Alamance County.
The North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championships presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Stay tuned for the Foundation Solutions halftime report. Interview with Q Tucker, the commissioner for the NCHSAA. Highlights and more. Foundation Solutions halftime. Huge turnover scooped up by the Reidsville Rams and their do-it-all standout, Dionte Neal. And now the Rams have scored on every drive. Get the football back here with 10 minutes left in the half. Little play action for Johnson. He goes to Harrison. And Kendre, nice stiff arm. Harrison down the sideline. And Harrison keeps going. The Oregon commit is running away. This Reidsville offense is so explosive. 4 different players to score. And it's maybe their best in the state in Kendre Harrison.
Right there saying, let's keep it calm. Let's keep it calm. What a big play by the big guy down the sideline, showing the speed and athleticism.
Longest play of the year for Kendre, 70-yard touchdown. And to be 6'7" and tightrope the sideline, I mean, that's the next level kind of play.
That's exactly what, you know, I was thinking about as you bring that up. Watching that big guy work his way up that sideline, and then Dionte Neal, they're going to go for 2 here. Look at this guy run around.
Neal throws a prayer and finds Frankie Galloway. Reidsville's clicking on all cylinders in this first half.
Rams, huh?
Eric Teague's program upset in the second round last year in the playoffs. They're coming for vengeance today.
Yeah, they go a little play action, a little tight end, basically a tight end screen. They got the wide receivers out in front to block, and then Harrison just works and tight ropes that sideline. They can't get the big guy down. Trying to go up high. First of all, don't go up high against this big guy. You got to get to the legs, right? Tried to get to the legs. He just swipes them away, and now it's the speed down the sideline. Easy for Harrison. So he's got a touchdown catch and the two-point conversion receptions as well.
Kendra Harrison, explosive. Stay tuned for our Affordable Dentures and Implants Player of the Game. Use your 2025 dental benefits now to get that smile you deserve. Reggie, you got a good smile. Visit affordablodentures.com for the practice near you.
Appreciate that.
It's all about having. Look at that smile.
How about that one?
Everyone's having a blast.
Iced out.
Looking good. The grills look good. I don't know if they're affordable dentures, but they'll work. And a fair catch at the 35. Right now, if you're Brevard, you're chasing the score clearly, but how does this offense find their rhythm to close out the half?
I think right now the main thing is you got to simplify, and you just got to pick up a couple of first downs. I wonder where the confidence of some of these young players is right now. If you can get some confidence going, make a couple of plays, and get in the end zone, it might give you the spark that you're looking for right now.
On those first two drives, Brevard scores on the 60-yard drive. Second drive, they're in the red zone. But since then, the pass rush of Reidsville's taken over. As Harrison will stay on the bench following the touchdown. Cadence Pruitt and his defensive line here on first down. Conley fields Thompson. And at 5 yards a pop, it's a good start for Braylon Thompson.
Well, and that's what you can't be afraid to take right now if you're Brevard in this first half. You got to be willing to take your 5 yards here, take your 5 yards there, and climb back into this ball game with a nice drive to get yourself in the end zone and start lifting the confidence in your football team.
Remember, Brevard gets the ball to start the second half. You start playing that 2-for-1 type game.
That, and you've given up explosive plays defensively. That's what can be frustrating and scary for you.
Some movement on the center. Daniel Field, the senior that time.
Well, there was a lot of movement by the defensive front, but they're going to call a false start.
Yeah, at the high school level, you're allowed to move, just not make the sound at the snap.
Absolutely.
Where at the college level, there's some nuance to all that. Just the second penalty for Brevard today, but you noted these touchdowns at 50+ for Reidsville starting to add up in this first half.
Yeah, they add up really quickly. And they can really shake the confidence of a football team.
Over 350 yards for Reidsville in this first half. Brevard's chasing some big points here with 8 minutes left in the quarter. And now a timeout for Brevard. You hear that sound of the Rams right now in Hickory. This is a proud championship program. Eric Teague, who won his first title as the head coach 2 years ago. Jimmy Teague, the legendary head coach. And it's worth noting what Eric's done to build this program from his dad and create a championship level. They're clicking on all cylinders today.
Yeah, they really are. And I think, you know, sometimes there you see his dad, Jimmy. I think the thing you can't forget about in high school football, and we talk about the athletes on the edge and all the playmakers, they are really stout at the line of scrimmage, offensive side and defensive side. And fortunate for them, not a ton of those guys have to play both ways. Talk about a guy in Cadence Pruitt who only plays that defensive end position, doesn't play a ton of offensive snaps in terms of some of those situations. Also,
and for more on this Reidsville program, here's Hannah Brady.
Headlines for the Rams: Jimmy Teague, 8-time state championship head coach and father to Eric Teague. He wanted to let his son develop the program his way and not step on any toes, but started to come out to practices and games often, transitioned into a part-time coach, and then last season he started to provide more of an input into things, being around regularly, so his son eventually just brought him back on full-time in last season, and now he's heavily involved coaching the offensive line and involved in the secondary, but just noted how special it was to have his father with him on the sidelines, especially today, guys.
How about having an 8-time state champ on the sidelines to help out the state champion coach, Eric and Jimmy? You see them back and forth. A neat family dynamic. Eric said, well, Jimmy kept showing up so many times, I eventually had to just give him a job on staff.
Well, I think the other thing that would be interesting, and we're a little bit past it now, but they didn't have a whole lot of traditional Thanksgivings in that house because they were getting ready for football games, and the tradition kind of continues, right?
A 3rd and long coming up here for Brevard. Conley faces a blitz, and that's tipped. Harrison leads to an interception. Richard Braithwaite gets the scoop. And Reidsville, they are rolling here in this first half.
Yeah, it's a great job by Kendre Harrison. Realized he wasn't going to get home. Just stopped, got his hands up. As long and rangy as he is, he's going to get an opportunity to get to the football a lot. And Braithwaite does a great job. Sees the football in the air. We talk about it all the time. Tips and overthrows. Sees a tip, picks it off.
That's been the strength of this Reidsville defense. 19 interceptions now. Remember, just 14 games in the high school year to get to the state final. I want to know what Wes Craven did last week to have the lead with a minute left in this region final. The script's completely flipped here in this championship game at the 4A level. Tyson Broadway back to work. Broadway's going for it all. It's Harrison. Another touchdown for Kendre. It's getting close to time to crown Reidsville state champs. Their control here in this second quarter. It's the trickeration, it's the creativity of all the plays from Reidsville today.
That's a vintage backyard type of tight end route. You've got your tight end lined up on one side. He just works all the way across the field. And everybody loses him because the action's going the other direction, and he's all by himself.
Dionte Neal with 3 scores. Kendre Harrison with his 2nd touchdown. And here's Penaloza, who gets his extra point. So now the special teams join the party. We'll take the timeout here in Hickory. The 4A state title game is becoming the crowning moment. There's your scoring summary. One play, one explosive play for Kendre Harrison. We'll wrap up this first half when we come back. All Reidsville so far here in Hickory. Welcome back to the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A state title presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. This Reidsville Ram team, every drive has led to a touchdown. 3 for Neal, 2 for Harrison, and Demarion Whitted joined the party as well. A crowning moment for this Reidsville senior class. Has won 2 state basketball titles, searching for their 2nd state football championship. Oh, and Thompson elects to field this kick. That might have gone out of bounds, but a flag now comes in.
You got to let that ball go out of bounds there. I know he's trying to make a play, but that's one you got to go ahead and let go out of bounds.
Let's see what this flag is here.
Yeah, you're going to get a block in the back on top of it. It's going to push him all the way back to about the 20-yard line.
Now you battle field position as well if you're Brevard. And we noted those first 2 drives, he was running the football, play action. Luke Coleman's club got into opportunities, but ever since, they're chasing the scoreboard, and it gets really tough.
Yeah, right now you feel squeezed into throwing the football more than you want. Looks like here they're going to go with a little bit more protection look. Additional tight ends in the game.
Conley keeps it. That D-line's all over it. Gain of 1 on first down. Harrison and Zaylen Hampton with the tackle.
Brevard's played some really good football teams this year. I don't know that they've seen this collective amount of speed throughout the season that they're seeing today against Reidsville, and that has become part of the problem. They've got decent team speed, Brevard, but this Reidsville group, from top to bottom, there's a lot of elite speed and athlete merchants out here.
A quick out route. There's Thompson Wynn, and he escapes for a first down. Gain of 12 that time. But even Reidsville so close to that pick 6. You're playing a tying rope here.
Yeah, they're flying around. Breathwaite that time thought he had a beat to try to get up the field and get a pick. You'll see him come flying into the left-hand side of your screen right there. And I tell you what, if he gets that, that is an easy touchdown. And this thing is more off the rails.
Brevard to the running game, and Skinner can't get much on first down. Now remember, Brevard does get the football to start the second half, but they got to find a way to maintain a drive to close out this quarter.
Well, all of a sudden, Cadence Pruitt, we talked about it earlier, he had kind of been quiet for much of that first quarter, and then all of a sudden started making some plays, and that time again in the backfield with penetration, creating problems.
There's a formula to beating Reidsville, but trailing by this number and having to throw the ball this many times creates a lot of questions. So Skinner gets the rock. Nice job by that offensive line to push forward. So 3rd and medium coming up. Brevard team that beat a talented AC Reynolds team in the opener. They've run the table, a couple of overtime wins in the regular season. And in the playoffs, largely untested outside of a Burns game in the second round. This will be their biggest test, now trailing by multiple scores.
That's the other thing about these playoffs is you see some teams that just run into the wrong matchup at the wrong time.
Another 3rd down stop for Reidsville. And coming up at the end of today's game, we'll have our Legacy Federal Credit Union play of the game, a Legacy and Wake Forest, we believe. There's a lot of plays to choose from this Reidsville offense in the first half. And now the punting unit comes on for Brevard.
Talking about the Reidsville offense, and I'll raise you one. There's a guy number 0 out there in white with some blue pants. He's made some plays on defense as well as what he's done on offense.
There's the punt from Cantrell. And Reidsville will get 5 more minutes to work with the football. The disappointment for Reidsville last year of losing in the second round. Coach Teague noted that, how a team that had injuries, struggling to find the right quarterback. Dionte Neal had to fill in the back half of the year. But in comes Braxton Johnson to start the season. And we've seen the last 5 weeks what Tyson Broadway's done. It's provided stability to this offense.
Yeah, the stability. And then I think what it does is it allows, obviously, Dionte Neal to be even more of a weapon without the football. Because now you have to account for his alignment. Right, if he's opposite of Kendre Harrison, where do you lean your coverage? All of those things become factors.
Well, here's Dionte Neal following the Harrison block, and Neal gets 8 yards on first down. Those are 2 high-level athletes. Neal playing basketball next year in college. Harrison playing college football at the Power 4 level.
I thought the most interesting thing when you do the research on these teams is Coach Teague talking about how somebody told him Dionte Neal's a better basketball player. And he's like, I'm not believing that for 1 second. And then he showed up and watched him play basketball one time, and he goes, oh, okay, maybe he might be a better basketball player.
Yeah, Neal's the Gatorade Player of the Year as a junior in high school. He's still got 1 more year of basketball coming up. That run will move the chains as we tick inside of 5 minutes in the half. Tip Top Roofing first down. Faith Family Football Roofing.
Getting back to Neal, he's going to be, I'm looking forward to watching him play basketball at UNCG. I think he's going to be one of those guys that really shows some things. And look, he may be undersized on paper, but if you watch him play, right, coaches talk about it more and more now. They like dynamics over dimensions, and he's dynamic.
Here's Derek Lyons on the jet sweep, and just a gain of 1 that time. What we have seen from Reidsville is everybody's touched the rock, too, not just the superstars. A couple of touchdowns for Whitted and others, and it puts so much pressure on the opposing defense.
Well, and that was one of the things that was going to be important in this game is who else, right? Who else could show up for this Reidsville team to provide additional support in terms of putting points on the board? And it's been clear. Everybody's been involved. Broadway, you talked about Whitted as well.
7 scoring drives for Reidsville in the first half. Here's drive 8 with Neal. And Dionte gets outside. So much speed. And Neal gets pushed out near the 35.
That hesitation move that he has once he turns that corner, that's so scary because he can go from top speed to nothing back to top speed so quickly. Very difficult to keep up with that kind of athleticism.
Dionte Neal has now surpassed 200 yards in this first half as an individual player. So tough to stop.
Wait, so he's done in a half what he normally does in a game? He's usually about 185 yards all-purpose per game. He's already eclipsed that in this first half.
Now Michael Smith breaks loose. Smith keeps going. Another touchdown for Reidsville. There is a flag, though, back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and this one's coming back. I think this is going to be a hold.
One of the few things stopping Reidsville in this first half.
Just work right up the field, and there you see it on in the right-hand part of your screen. It's just a takedown. Smith was stepping over lines, as they say, but it's going to come back.
Well, Monday Night Raw, that'd be legal. Doesn't always translate to the high school game, unfortunately.
There you go, right?
A rare 1st and 20 for this Reidsville offense that's been clicking on its first 8 drives. There's LaDon Hatfield in motion. Broadway faces a blitz, and it gets there. Good sack by Garen Littleton, the senior D lineman.
That's a nice job by Littleton. Working his way up the middle. Just continues to work. And then closes that thing out with a nice, clean hit to get the sack. And they missed. Broadway missed Dionte Neal out in the flat on the right-hand side.
And when Brevard's defense is really good, it's 20 turnovers this year. They force a lot of havoc in the secondary. When you're chasing the sticks like this, so difficult. Here's a long 2nd and 30.
That's why they're able to be in games no matter what the score, because they can take the football away.
They sniff out the screen. Broadway keeps scrambling. And he finds Kendre Harrison back at the line of scrimmage. And it takes an army of Blue Devils to even slow down Kendre, who's flexing his way off the field.
And Braden Crane did an excellent job on the reroute. He gets up the field and he realizes, wait, why am I getting a free run? Looks out to his right, drops back into the screen lane, and blows this thing up. And Broadway immediately realizes, I've got to go to the right-hand side. Kendre Harrison was just kind of standing there because the way the formation was, he couldn't go down the field. He was he was eligible, I should say, but he didn't want to get down the field and leave his quarterback.
His quarterback was on skates running 20 yards behind him. Turned that actually into a couple-yard gain on 2nd down. Here's the running game on 3rd. And now a chance for a stop here for this Brevard defense. And the punt unit comes on.
If I'm Reidsville, I let this clock run all the way down. Got 34 on the play clock right now, so you're talking about a 30-second difference, 27-second difference.
Any thought to Brevard using a timeout in this spot?
If I'm Brevard, I probably do, but if I'm Reidsville, I let this thing get all the way down to about 5 or less on the play clock before I snap it and punt this football.
There's still 10 seconds on the play clock. An ominous final countdown to close out the half. And Derek Lyons into punt. Good kick, pinning Tristan Thompson-Wynn back near the 14. Remember, the high school game clock will stop on a first down. But with 28 seconds, this requires a lot.
Well, and this is where, right, in the high school game, you talk about the clock stopping on first down. This is where I think you can't lose sight of as a coach. The middle of the field is going to be open. They don't want to let you get to the sideline. As long as you're getting 12-plus yards over the middle of the field, you can march down the field because you're getting first downs, getting that clock stopped. So something to keep an eye on here for Coach Cam Coleman, I should say, as they look to try to potentially get some points here. The middle of the field could be your friend here because you're likely going to get a big, wide zone that allows you to make plays in the middle and not down the sideline.
It's the running game on first down and not much there, just 3 yards.
That might be a let's get to the locker room kind of play call there.
Yeah, Brevard will get the football first in the second half. We'll hear from Coach Teague in Reidsville going into halftime in just a few moments. And this Brevard program very proud at 14-0, but has some work to do in the next 20 minutes of intermission. Well, it's all Reidsville through the first half here in Hickory, North Carolina. This Ram faithful, they can smell a state championship looming. Neal with 3 touchdowns, Harrison multiple touchdowns. And remember, these clubs go through the same tunnel, so Reidsville will go first, and then Brevard will join them.
How about the logistics coordination down there by the officials as well?
And as we get all situated, here's Hannah Brady with the Reidsville staff.
Well, Coach, your team found a rhythm early on. How would you describe the way your offense is playing so far?
Basically as well as it could go. I mean, we didn't have any negative plays, had a lot of home run plays. We know guys like Dionte and other guys on offense, they get a little steam. They can take it to the house every time they get the ball, and they've done that several times in the first half. So we had a big half, but we needed them to.
How do you capitalize on this momentum, Coach?
We got to keep them focused for the second half. I know it looks kind of out of hand right now. We got to come out and play second half, and in 2 quarters, they'll be state champions.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here in Hickory for the 4A state championship between the Brevard Blue Devils and the Reidsville Rams.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
Commissioner Tucker, thank you for your time. Another exciting week with the state championships here.
It is almost unbelievable that here we are getting ready to crown champions in football when it just seems like we just started the season.
This year began the 8 classification system. Why the change? How has it been working? And do you foresee any adjustments for next year?
Well, this is the last of a fall championships where we will crown 8 champions based on the new 8 classification system that our board approved. So far, so good. And for this weekend coming, we have 3 outstanding venues.
There are plenty of familiar names in this year's championship. What do you think makes these programs successful year in and year out?
Well, I think first and foremost, those coaches recognize that what we do is called education-based athletics. And it's about providing teachable moments. It's about teaching young people the core values of sportsmanship, integrity, and honesty. And I believe that those coaches understand how to navigate that kind of balance.
And what do you think has been the biggest challenge for the association this year?
Well, I think always a big challenge for us is trying to help everybody understand the role of sportsmanship in what we do. It's been an ongoing theme of trying to keep that front and center of what we do. And of course, as I mentioned, we do have the 8 classifications in this alignment period. And so just trying to secure those venues has been a challenge.
And can you discuss those new venues and kind of some of the highlights of the new opportunities for these athletes to play in?
Well, of course, the mainstay is UNC and Keenan Stadium. They've been a site for us for many, many years. The association grew out of the University of North Carolina, and that's one of the reasons that our office is based in Chapel Hill, and one of the reasons that we continue to hold our football championships here. So they're still on the docket. And then, of course, NC State had some conflicts that we could not work around. So we reached out to some other venues, and Lenoir Rhyne University said, hey, let's talk. And so their Moretz Stadium has been made available to us. We're excited about being in that part of the state. And Durham County Stadium also stepped to the plate and said, let's talk, let's see what we can do. And so we look forward to that.
And education-based athletics is a policy that's very important to you. How do we keep the balance in today's ever-changing sports climate?
It is about learning how to be a young person, how to grow into that young adult. And if we've done our job, we have those young people poised and ready to be able to go on and make a difference.
Commissioner Tucker, thank you for your time as always, and enjoy championship weekend.
Thank you so much.
The North Carolina High School Athletic Association welcomes you to tonight's game.
We are excited to celebrate the hashtag NCHSAA Game Locked In, which honors everything that makes high school sports special.
Let's continue to create a positive, welcoming environment for everyone. Cheer loudly, support your team, show respect to officials, opponents, and each other.
Let's make tonight's game one to remember, full of pride, positivity, and what it means to be truly locked in.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
Hey everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to this state championship high school football game. Joining us today is our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Taylor Newhouse. Taylor, are you loving the game so far?
Absolutely, it's been a fun one to watch.
It has been a fun one to watch. Now, what are you anticipating? An explosive finish, I hope?
We always hope for an explosive finish, but definitely an interesting game.
All right, we got to talk at the end of the game then.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about high school athletics in general, because from what I understand, Ingalls Markets, y'all have had a long-standing and robust partnership, not just with our organization, but the entire community as a whole. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the dynamics of that partnership.
Absolutely. We kind of gravitate towards athletics because we feel like it's a great way to reach our communities, but we're with these kids all the way from that first day of elementary school all the way through college. So we're really following them, but athletics is a good way to bring it all together because everyone loves a Friday night football game.
They do indeed, including you and I. That's
Absolutely.
Right. So it sounds like you guys really do bridge that link between academics and athletics. Am I correct to assume that?
Yes, definitely. We're there to support children through their entire educational experience.
Speaking of supporting children, y'all have people who come into y'all stores and end up working for y'all, people who you go to church with. I mean, this really is a tight-knit community. Is that right?
Absolutely. Ingalls is a beacon in all of our communities, and we love to get people in and out of the store, especially these kids that are working at our stores, our athletes and students in the schools that we support as well.
That's indeed right. Well, Haley, you know what time it is. It's time to get back to some football.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll see you guys next time on Friday Night Rivals.
So, you gonna play this week?
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 You gonna play this week? You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week?
You gonna play this week? This week?
And welcome to the Ingalls Game of the Week as the Warhorses square off against the rival.
He's going in.
He's going in. Go, baby!
Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
You're watching the Foundation Solutions Halftime Report. Foundation Solutions. It won't cost you to get a quote from us, but it could cost you thousands if you don't. Call today or visit foundationswnc.com.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
Ron, nice cut move and a hurdle. He's still on his feet. Are you kidding me? Caleb Ron, touchdown. Oh my goodness, what did he just do?
He will roll right, under pressure, still on his feet, trying to find somebody downfield. He's in trouble. He'll throw it to the back of the end zone. The receiver's wide open. Touchdown, McQueen.
Michael Henry got his field goal blocked, caught it, and said, look what I found. Touchdown. In one of the most bizarre football plays you will ever see.
Pressure, throws it downfield to the middle of the field. What a catch, coming up and grabbing the ball.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea it was one-handed that he grabbed that thing and hauled it in.
Another rush, they're gonna throw the screen and it's intercepted. How about the big fella, Akeem Davis? Davis
He's
staying on his feet. Look at him go. Davis.
It's like a scrum.
They can't bring him down. Akeem Davis is still moving. At the 30, at the 25, he's stuck out of there. Are you kidding me, Akeem Davis? He is in for the touchdown.
55-yard field goal from the left hash. The kick is up, and it is. It's good at the buzzer. Bryant is the hero for the Buccaneers.
It's across the country and here in North Carolina, the 4A state championships off to a nice start for the Reidsville Rams. Impressive, searching for their 21st state title as a program. The Brevard Blue Devils undefeated in the regular season. Nice first quarter, but Reggie, as this game moved on, that second quarter, Reidsville's offense, 8 drives, 7 scores. They were rolling offensively today.
Yeah, Reidsville just showing the explosive ability of their offense. About 17 yards per play in this game. And that's how you roll up 416 total yards in the first half. Got to clean up the penalties you see there at the bottom on that left-hand side there. Got to clean that up. But otherwise, doing an excellent job offensively, and then defensively, outside of the first maybe 2 drives, this defensive front has really taken control for Reidsville.
You see that 283 passing. Neal and Harrison very involved in that. And as we roll some of the highlights, it wasn't just the big plays, it was the explosive plays for Reidsville to open this game up.
Yeah, you talk about a team that, look, every time they got in the end zone, it was 34 yards or more on that particular play. They were able to find different creative ways, whether it was, just straight pushing the ball down the field with a concept there of you got a tight end coming underneath on a little underneath kind of route, and then you run a post on the backside. Dionte Neal makes the catch, and then this time he slips through a crease that is smaller than he is. Somehow he gets through there, and he's able to use the speed down the sideline. It was big play after big play, explosive after explosive, and anytime you get this guy out in space, you got no chance to keep him off the scoreboard.
1 of 3 scores for Dionte Neal, and then Broadway found his big man, Harrison. Look at the footwork here from the 6'7" tight end.
Yeah, the footwork, and then the ability to run away from defenders. He's creating additional separation as he finishes this run. That's a really nice job by the big guy. And then this time, a little misdirection. They little dash toward the right, come back and throw it back to him, working from the right side all the way back to the left. Easy walk-in touchdown.
Look at the Bears here at Lenoir Rhyne. Beautiful campus, fun little drive-in this morning.
Tremendous facility here. Got to give a ton of credit to the folks here at Lenoir Rhyne for this facility. This is excellent. This is the right place to hold a state championship.
Lenoir Rhyne, 3 years reconstructing this entire stadium at Moretz. It's a beautiful complex, fun D2 campus, and it's packed too from start to finish. When you talk about high school venues, this is the right size, the right atmosphere. I know the game's a little one-sided, but everything's been going well today.
Well, it really has, and we felt the energy. We were down on the field before the game, and when the Brevard Blue Devils came out of their locker room for pregame warm-ups, this place erupted with noise, and then you got the same thing when Reidsville came out as well. So the folks made the drives from their respective locations for this one, and they're getting a chance to be involved in a place that has a ton of energy to crown a state champion.
A complex with 76 years of history, and they get their first edition of the state championships. We're waiting on Coach Coleman. We'll talk to him in just a moment. This Brevard team, very proud regular season. A lot of work to do, Reggie, but certainly they can hang their hats on a great campaign. There's still football to go. And Hannah Brady about to grab Coach Coleman here in just a second. And now Hannah's ready with the coaching staff.
Well, Coach, you talked to me all week about this team's ability to overcome. How did they do that here in the second half?
One play at a time. We just got to play one play at a time. They got 24 minutes of football left. They got to go out. How are they going to be remembered? One play at a time.
Thank you, Coach. We'll be right back here with the second half action as the Reidsville Rams are up 43-7 over the Brevard Blue Devils, so don't go anywhere.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of Cook Rentals. Now in 5 locations across North Carolina. Cook Rentals, renting the smart way to get things done.
Storms can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of First Source Equipment Rentals and Sales in Mebane and Burlington. First Source Rentals. Reliable, safe equipment rentals in Alamance County.
Welcome back to Moretz Stadium here on Lenoir Ryan's campus in Hickory. A one-sided first half for the 4A state championships presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Perfect atmosphere and a lot of football to go. And of course, in this second half, we're handing out a lot of trophies, a lot of awards, including our Affordable Dentures and Implants Player of the Game. Use that 2025 dental benefits to get the smile you deserve. Visit affordabledentures.com for the practice near you. And we want to thank our friends at Cook Rentals for powering our game. Cook Rentals, 5 convenient locations across the state. And oh man, that father connection with his young daughter, having a blast. These Reidsville second-generation alums living it up here in Hickory. You couldn't beat this weather, this opportunity in the 50s. Well, you could ask for it a state title weekend. Even Handa, who's bundled up on the sideline.
It's good football weather, especially for us up here in this booth.
With Reggie Walker, I'm Evan Budrovich. Yep, we got air conditioning and heating rolling up here at Lenoir Rhyne. They've treated us well all week. A new venue, and I think it's earned a lot of opportunities to keep hosting football. We'll have Tarboro and Murphy later tonight at 5 o'clock. And there's championships all day long across Durham County Stadium and here at Moretz Stadium.
And to your point, this will not be the last time there's state championships at this facility.
So Brevard does get the football first, and you just heard from Coach Coleman. One play at a time. It starts with Tristan Thompson-Wynn. Tristan gets a couple of blocks. And good field position out to the 35 here for Brevard.
I think if you're Brevard, look, you gotta go back to your original game plan that you had to start this football game, right? You come out, you try to establish a little bit of a running game, and then allow that to open things up to push the ball down the field in the passing game. Time is going to be of the essence, but you try to establish yourself on the ground, because if you come out and think you're just going to throw this thing 35 times in the second half, could set yourself up against this pass rush for some bigger issues.
Christian Conley throws on the first play. There's a completion to Aiden Cantrell, his first catch. And they'll give him 4.5 on first down.
Dionte Neal in tight coverage over there makes a nice tackle right at the point of the catch, but I like the execution early on for Brevard offensively.
Full circle moment for Neal. As a freshman, he set the state record, 12 picks. Think about that as a freshman, right?
Stop it.
Now, as a senior, he's about to win a second football title.
We're going right back to that. 12 interceptions as a freshman. There are people that don't have 12 interceptions, high school, college, and their professional careers combined.
Including my partner, Reggie Walker, who was really good on the defensive end as well. Here's some juke in the movement. Right near the sticks here for Thompson.
Did not have 12 interceptions in my high school career, I can tell you that much.
Now he's 25 in his career, just to tell you the not only the offensive accolades, but the ball hawking nature of Dionte Neal.
That guy is unbelievable.
He's pretty close to the Tom Brady fist of rings, 2 for basketball, maybe a second in football coming up in the next 30 minutes. For those joining us, it's a running clock situation, 35 points. Now Brevard could change that offensively here. Conley on 3rd down. Good conversion, nice pitch and catch. And then Akai Akipon gets a nice extension into Reidsville territory.
Anthony Peel, who we talked about in the pregame, number 6, that linebacker spot, that he had the right read on that, but that throw was such a rocket. He didn't have a chance to get there. Loved the execution that time for Brevard and obviously their quarterback, Christian Conley.
Conley, who's filling in for the injured Ben Kessinger, the original starting quarterback, but this staff loves how Conley distributes the rock. He's working here to Thompson Wynn. And that backside defense, Pruitt comes in for the stop.
Pruitt, Breathwaite, I think that is over there, number.
And Zaylen Hampton on the stop too.
Yeah. Was flying around on that defensive side.
You look at the Reidsville defense, 8, 9, and 6 are everywhere as linebackers.
Yeah, they really are. They flow really well, and that guy, Cadence Pruitt, makes their life a lot easier because he creates so much havoc and generates so much attention.
Good opening drive of the second half for Brevard. And a nice hole that time, breaking through the blitz. Explosive run for Braylon Thompson.
And this drive looks very similar to what we saw at the beginning of the football game for Brevard in terms of their first drive of the game. Mixing in some run and some pass, getting the ball to the outside, running the ball to the inside as well. And they're able to move the football here.
It starts to become 4-down territory. 2 of your Brevard chasing points. So Thompson gets it. Nice job stretching outside in the first with Braithwaite jumping on him. Well, this is the type of start Luke Coleman needs coming out of halftime.
Absolutely, and he said it, one play at a time, and I think that mentality is showing up on this drive. They're finding ways to just win a play, just win the block, right? And see what you can do there. See if you can build a little momentum. And then again, if you can go get some points, now you look at your defense and say, can you go create a turnover? Because that's what they've been so good at throughout the season.
There have been 30-point comebacks before in the state championships. Now, it would take a minute here at Lenoir Rhyne, but it has happened in its history. What did Brevard dial up? 14-0 regular season. It's being tested here against Reidsville. Conley play action. He's going deep. And what a snag! And then a catch! Touchdown, Brevard! Incredible concentration from Tristan Thompson Wynn. Are you serious? Well, Reggie Walker, degree of difficulty at 10 right here.
It might be an 11 and a half. That ball, I mean, you're talking about having to make an over-the-shoulder catch. That ball was kind of hanging up there. Really difficult catch, and somehow Thompson Wynn found a way to bring that thing in.
So now with the touchdown, the running clock is no longer a fact, just for those watching at home. We'll step aside for the timeout. Look at this explosive play. Tristan Thompson Wynn says don't fall asleep on Brevard just yet.
The need for officials has never been greater. Without officials, we don't have this. Make the right call.
Become an NCHSAA official. Visit NCHSAA.org for more details.
In implants. Stay tuned later today. We'll have the Legacy Federal Credit Union play of the game. Legacy and Wake Forest, we believe. Here's the kickoff after an incredible touchdown from Tristan Thompson-Wynn. And a returnable kick for Jordan Robinson. Oh, Robinson breaks loose. Only the kicker. Robinson stays inbounds. What a kick return touchdown. That's the 6th different player to score for Reidsville today. The Rams, they traveled in huge packs here to Hickory.
You know, Evan, I didn't know that I would say this today after what we saw in the first half. That's the most explosive play we've seen from Reidsville in this game. It was unbelievable.
There you go, 90-yard kickoff return after all the big touchdowns today.
Wow.
Man, Jordan Robinson and the special teams for Reidsville get involved. That's backbreaking if you're Brevard. Do all that work to score, and then in about 7 seconds, it disappears.
Talking about taking the air out of a football team after they got a big explosive. We'll just run the kickback.
That extra point's good, so a 50 spot for Reidsville here in the second half.
Again, makes the catch, works up the field, and then gets to the right and sees a little bit of a crease, and that's it. He's down the sideline right here, does a nice job with his contact balance there, gets a little push around the shoulders, steps through it, and then speed, touchdown. And probably the most important thing in a situation like that, right? Nobody, in terms of his teammates behind him, nobody panicked and pushed anybody in the back. They let their guy go run. That's good discipline by the special teams unit.
That's a pretty simple drive right there. 90-yard kickoff return, 91 officially for Robinson.
The only negative thing about it is it puts this Reidsville defense right back on the field.
And if you're Eric Teague, you noted, hey, there's a lot of football left, but even the way this third quarter started, 50 may not be enough in this state title game. There's a lot of offense today.
Oh, by the way, Jordan Robinson, if he's on the field at corner, I'm testing him with a deep ball immediately. We're going to find out if his wind is still there after that long kickoff return.
Penaloza here with the kickoff. This has been one area where Brevard's had success. Good starting field position. And they'll start again right near the 35. So you're saying, hey, I'm going to target number 4 defensively and give him a shot first play.
Might as well. He just went 90 on us. Maybe he's a little tired. Maybe he's a little bit gassed. If he's out there, that's the guy that maybe I try to attack vertically down the field. Of course, he's not out there right now, which is probably
that's good coaching
by
from
design.
Eric Teague.
Absolutely.
He does have Dionte Neal, the anchor of this defense. His job's to guard Tristan Thompson-Wynn, who just scored from 40+ on his last play. Here's Conley going the other way. And a nice snag for 5 yards to Ty Griffin, first catch of the championships.
Ty Griffin, just a sophomore, getting an opportunity here to get some experience, get a catch in a state championship game, start to feel a little more comfortable as his career continues.
We'd love to see as well Carter McAfee, the linebacking specimen, who's a great slot receiver for Brevard. Getting him involved will be important today as well. Chance for this 16-player senior class to close out their campaigns for Brevard. Nice run. There's a first down conversion for Nyrell Skinner, who unfortunately got injured at the end of that play.
The way he fell on that left knee. I don't know what the injury is, but the way he fell did not look comfortable at all. You could see it as soon as it happened. I mean, you just hope he's okay.
An unfortunate situation there for Nyrell Skinner, the senior running back. And now takes his helmet off, and the athletic training staff helping him out. We're going to take a timeout and then check on Nyrell Skinner when we come back. These state championships of the 4A level presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants.
Belief isn't just a feeling, it's a force. A force that turns underdogs into champions, struggle into strength, and concepts into companies. A Legacy and Wake Forest University are proud to partner because we share a truth that belief in people yields the highest returns. Together, we're investing in every dream, every goal, every tomorrow. This is our home. Let's believe.
Welcome back to Hickory, North Carolina. Good to see Nyrell Skinner get back on his feet. This was just a moment ago while we were in commercial, but Skinner getting helped out by Coach Coleman and his staff. Remember, Ben Kessinger, one of their star senior offensive weapons, out for the year with a torn ACL. So you don't want to see injuries pile up too much this time of year, but a chance for some new pieces to step up here for Brevard. We'll check on Skinner as the game continues. And Christian Conley back to work after the first down. Connolly goes to Thompson Wynn. Great reception. He turns that into a quick 10 yards.
That's a nice route there by Thompson Wynn, working back to the football based on the angle at which the ball is thrown, and then turns up the field. Gets right near the sticks. I think they're going to mark him about a yard short. But that was a very nice throw and catch there for this offense.
What these last two drives have been a systematic offense for Brevard, and you wish some of that came in the second quarter. Good to see the Blue Devils find their rhythm here in the state championships.
Yeah, this game might look a lot different had they been able to do a little bit more of this in that first half.
Double reverse. It gives some space to the running back, and that's enough for the first down. Akai Agupon converts it, but this Reidsville eye discipline, they didn't get fooled on that play.
Cadence Pruitt did exactly what he was supposed to do. He held his ground, held his water, didn't start running and chasing, and made this play. Watch 18 at the bottom of your screen. He keeps everything inside of him right there and makes the play. And that's great execution. That's why we're going to see, and that man right there, Cadence Pruitt, you'll hear that young man's name a ton over the next year or so when it comes to college coaches knocking on the door at Reidsville High School to talk to that young man about his future.
Conley now into Reidsville territory. He pump fakes, takes the deep shot for Tristan Wynn. Nice recovery. And he's in the red zone, staying alive near the 15. Tatum and Atkinson first down, and here's Tristan Thompson Wynn taking over.
Getting some opportunities to get down the field, a little pump, a little slant and go situation, and they've got him in a one-on-one situation down the field. He's able to go up and adjust to the football, probably the most important thing there, and make the catch and get his team now inside the 15-yard line. Can they go get another score and start to, again, play better on offense in this second half?
And to your point, put some game pressure on Reidsville as they enter the Air Experts red zone. Air Experts, schedule your tune-up today at airexperts.com. Back-to-back quality drives here for Brevard. Conley faces a blitz. Conley gets it off and was hit. A late flag comes in the end zone.
First of all, good on Conley to just get up. He got absolutely drilled. And then on that back end, I think this might be more of a hold than anything. When Thompson Wynn went to that break to the inside, I thought I saw them get a little bit of that jersey. And that's going to be likely what the penalty is here. I think it's a hold more than a pass interference.
So the pass interference is a 15-yard, where the holding's a 10-yard penalty. So a little extra room to work for Brevard.
Well, right. It ended up being a half the distance kind of deal. But I thought, let's see if we can see it here. He's working up the field right here. See, there's the jersey pull. See, they call it pass interference. Obviously, the ball's in the air, but that's more of a hold to me than it was anything else.
There's a whistle, but does that end the quarter first? No, the false start will end the quarter. So we'll take this final timeout and head to the fourth quarter of the 4A state championship game. Reidsville in total control. Brevard showing some life, though, late. And these final 12 minutes presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Stick with us here for the 4A state title.
Robert, go for more.
Hey. Hurt in a car wreck? Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Let the heavy hitters do it for you. Call 800-LAW-0804 and we'll go after all the money they should be paying you. Stay out of the courtroom and get into the end zone.
Call the heavy hitters, who are attorneys Tatum and Atkinson.
Call the heavy hitters, they'll work to get you more. 1-800-LAW-0804.
Have you been quoted for trench drain system to fix water intrusion? Before you compromise your foundation, talk to Foundation Solutions. We provide a more efficient, more cost-effective way to keep your basement dry. With 30 years of experience in Western North Carolina, we bring guaranteed work, financing options, and real peace of mind. Visit foundationswnc.com or call 828-768-2208.
Welcome back to the start of the fourth quarter. North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championships presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. All Reidsville so far through 3, and we start the fourth. A lot of records and crowning moments to talk about in the next 12 minutes. Now we have a stoppage in play. Keep in mind, with this score differential, it is a running clock. And Reidsville clarifying, does that clock start on the whistle on the first play? When does the clock get moving? Now we're all on the same page.
Well, and I think also you add on, because of the penalty, it's first down, but it's like 1st and 8.
That's the spot for Conley. Christian is sacked in the backfield. Good play by Josiah Samalu with the sack.
Yeah, just too much speed off the edge that time, and they collapse that pocket. Not only from the edge, right? Off the backside, they make him step up, but then they get the push in the middle, and there's just nowhere for Conley to go. Great job by this defensive front 7, collapsing that pocket.
This Reidsville program, an early loss to Reagan, 35-0. Since then have dominated opponents in the state playoffs. And they're putting the button on what could be a 21st state championship in the next 12 minutes.
And that Reagan football team, that was a good group this season. As you see, Kendra Harrison knock that pass away. They call it, this is an incomplete pass.
Yeah, there was some confusion from the defense.
Yeah, it's just an incomplete pass.
The 6'7" Harrison who tipped the ball for a pick earlier. And Coach Teague noted, yes, he's a tight end at the next level, but his effort and energy defensively has shifted this club down the stretch.
That guy can be whatever he wants to be at whatever level. He's got the perfect frame.
He knows he's on camera. He's sporting the big O for Oregon.
Absolutely. He's got the frame to be an edge type of player.
There's no camera he doesn't like.
But if you think about him and then you look at Oregon football right now, Mr. Sadiq that plays tight end there, Kendra Harrison is almost a clone of that young man.
There's Conley out of the pocket. He's going end zone. Neal, the interception. He's ruled down in the end zone. Dionte Neal, one of the best to do it in high school history here in North Carolina with another pick.
And he's not happy. He was going to try to run this thing back, and they blew it dead in the end zone. He's not happy with the officials.
Add on to the 3-touchdown day for Neal with his first pick. 26 in Neal's career.
Yeah, I think he was looking for his 4th touchdown off the pick. This is a really nice job by Neal. He's covering from the other side. He comes across the backside of the formation, gets one hand in there and pulls that one in. And then look at him, turns around to the official. He's like, what are you talking about? I get to return this if I want. Great job. He comes off because there's no work, as they say, right? If there's no work, you go find the football.
Yeah, Neal stays in bounds, and the official ruling, since he was touched in the end zone, the play's ruled dead, which to me is not the interpretation of that rule.
Yeah, the Reidsville fans are not happy about that either. They wanted to see him try to get out of that end zone and try to be electric and see if he can cap his career with maybe a 100-plus yard interception return.
There's already been a special teams touchdown for Reidsville in this second half. That was right when Brevard showed a little bit of hope, but then Reidsville putting this game away. Braxton Johnson now in at quarterback. And Michael Smith with the carry. Keep in mind, Johnson carried the load the first 7 weeks as the starter. And this Reidsville staff so complimentary of Johnson, who will most likely be the starter next year. He's got a chance to build on this performance today.
Yeah, between Braxton Johnson, in his career, what it can be, right? He's going to just continue to grow and improve, and now to get these valuable snaps. Every snap is an opportunity to get better, and he's getting them right here.
Johnson and Broadway splitting the duties this year. And then Dionte Neal says, I'll take that. But there was a little bit of movement before the snap.
Tell you what, if they don't blow that dead,
he probably scores there.
It'd be interesting to watch the foot race between he and Conley on that backside. That would have been interesting to watch. As the clock winds down towards 8 minutes because of the margin here.
And after every play, you see this Reidsville program starting to point to that ring finger. They can taste the 21st title. Here's Neal, the same exact play. Now Dionte goes backwards. He's still going. Uh-oh, near the end zone. Neal gets a block. Able to juke 2 more. Neal spins out of 1, and the longest gain of 1 you'll ever see.
I'm going to tell you something, Evan. If that guy had made that last tackle right there, if he makes that guy miss, he's up the sideline, and I'm just listening to you lose it for the next 7 seconds, because this would have been one of the more electric runs we have ever seen in high school football.
Yeah, that's Reggie Bush, Fresno State-esque from the early 2000s.
No. Let's go back further. Reggie Bush, Helix High School out of San Diego. Reggie was absolutely unbelievable at Helix High School.
That is a great reference. And we're seeing that renaissance here in North Carolina, one of the best to do it in the state. Dionte Neal continues to cook. And now Michael Smith in the run game gets tripped up. 4th down coming.
I've seen some guys do some things in high school games. Another one, Ricky Manning Jr. out of Edison High School in Fresno was unbelievable from that side of the country. You think about a guy in Daniel Davis folks at the University of North Carolina would remember that name out of Brook Point High School in Virginia. I mean, we've seen some guys do some things. Austin Scott from Penn State, Parkland High School up in Allentown area, was unbelievable.
And that fair catch will give Brevard great field position. We'll take our final timeout of the state championship, 6 minutes away from crowning a 4A champion. We'll be right back here from Hickory, North Carolina. The 4A state title presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants comes right back after this.
Can come up fast, and your roof is your home's first line of defense. Tip Top Roofing is fully licensed, insured, and trusted by homeowners, HOAs, and real estate professionals. From the smallest repairs to the largest residential replacements, we handle it all, including gutters and siding. As a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master, we offer up to 25 years of workmanship coverage and a lifetime materials warranty. Ask about our senior and veteran discounts and schedule your free inspection today at tiptoproofing.net.
Tonight's high-end zone views of the game are compliments of Cook Rentals. Now in 5 locations across North Carolina. Cook Rentals, renting the smart way to get things done.
Welcome back to Hickory, North Carolina. Kendra Harrison in this Reidsville program. Totally in dominant control of the 4A state title. You see Harrison, should I stay or should I go? You know, at blackjack, they say to hold on 20. Reidsville's trying to hit 21 and break the state record for championships. Tristan Thompson-Wynn with a first down. Those two players, between Thompson-Wynn and Neal, have been dynamic all season. We're seeing the best of them in this state championship.
You did have to make a reference to blackjack for talking to the guy who just came back from Vegas. I did not wager on anything. Didn't partake. But I just came back from there, and I saw a lot of people partaking, as it were.
Yeah, it's a full-out celebration here in Hickory for that Reidsville crowd on the opposite side. Another catch for Tristan. He's having a great second half. Thompson-Wynn staying in bounds and earning a first down there.
And this is what Coleman said. His guys are going to continue to fight until the game is over. They are doing just that. As you see again, throw it out there to the flat on the right-hand side and move those chains.
And it's fun to see 0 and 1 in their final games together, spending almost every play next to each other.
Yeah, they're enjoying it. They're soaking up the moment. They were the ringleaders in bringing the energy pregame as well. And now you see a timeout for Reidsville. I think this is about letting some of these guys enjoy it, and then getting some other guys involved in this game to close it out. As you see, Kendra Harrison.
Harrison, who transferred back to Reidsville. He wanted to stay in his hometown and win a state title. Got one as a sophomore. Now he's 4 minutes from completing his career with a state championship.
Look at him spending time with the photographers. This kid.
He's not camera shy, that's for sure.
He is not. And there's going to be plenty of them that find him out there in Eugene over the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, however many he chooses.
Chance to sub out his senior class that has really been a mainstay for Coach Eric Teague, taking over for his dad, Jimmy. We noted the whole story. But now for Reidsville, after a disappointing second-round exit last year, a real coronation for Neal and Harrison right there, those two legends in Reidsville.
What a way to finish it for Neal and Harrison, right? You know, Harrison's got a couple of touchdowns, a couple of two-point conversion plays. And Neal's been all over the place, making plays, running it, and catching it.
Reidsville to sprint a man off the field here before the play. And another reception outside. Well, for this Brevard team, it's going to come up short, but to go undefeated is nearly impossible this late in the year. And they've shown a sign of toughness that may not result in a final score, but a nice performance in the state title.
Nice performance in the state championship. I'll tell you this, too. We already know what Tristan Thompson-Wynn is, number 4. But number 6, Ty Griffin, next year as a junior with that size as a wide receiver, they're going to have 2 guys that can really create problems on the outside.
Conley in his final game feeds the tailback, Braylon Thompson. And we do have a quick injury update here from Hannah Brady.
Yeah, I have a quick update. Nyrell Skinner is out for the remainder of this game. He came down hard on his left leg. He has a left ankle injury, has a boot on now, so he will not be returning to this game. And that's been the story for Brevard all season, is injuries just plaguing this team. But his teammates coming over to the injury tent, just continuing to encourage him. So just a really good sight to see here late in the game, Evan.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. We noted Ben Kessinger out for the year as well, a dynamic team leader. Here's a tunnel screen to Thompson Wynn. Puts on the juke moves. Nice way to end his regular season. A touchdown for the junior wide receiver. The Tatum and Atkinson scored. Tristan Thompson wins, second touchdown of the half. And those students are having a blast here on state championship Saturday.
Yeah, they are. Just a nice execution there. Little 3-on-2 kind of situation out there to the left. Throw it out there. Makes one guy miss who's trying to pursue and make a play and into the end zone.
That extra point is no good, so keeps it a 30-point contest.
Take another look, right? The low play action, pull that ball out, make a guy miss, and get in the end zone. Big time. Brevard still fighting, but down big to Reidsville.
Welcome back to the 4A State Championships presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants here in the heart of North Carolina in Hickory. First ever state title game here at Lenoir Rhyne. And the offense is buzzing. 70 total points. Reidsville, though, just too much to stop in pursuit of their 21st state title. Now the Rams get the football back to coronate this regular season championship year. And a kick return possible for Jaden Stone. Stone gets tackled hard. Good stop by Braylon Thompson. Eric Teague and this Reidsville staff, they've been impressive all year, all season, and their star, Dionte Neal, shined bright today.
Yeah, he really, really did. Dionte Neal's absolutely electric in so many ways in this ball game. Running the football, catching the football, defensively with a pick. That guy has been absolutely spectacular in his last high school football game.
And there's Coach Teague on the verge of his second title as the head coach. A couple of second stringers now in to open up this fourth quarter. But a whistle before the play.
I don't think that's going to bother Coach Teague too much, because that clock is continuing to run, and that's all he's focused on right now.
10 straight wins for this Reidsville program. They started 1-2, battled Northern Guilford and Reagan, two quality programs in the triad. But since then, this Reidsville club, all gas, no brakes. Keep in mind, region final, they had to have a game-winning field goal in the last minute just to make it to this title. But no questions, who's the best team at the 4A level this year? It's a couple yards here for Reidsville on first down. A coronation for Dionte Neal, Kendra Harrison, and this senior class that's now on the verge of 2 titles in 4 years.
How about Tyson Broadway at the quarterback position, a guy who wasn't even a part of this program at the beginning of the season, comes over, takes over the starting quarterback job down the stretch. and it's ring season for the Rams.
Oh, there's the coronation for Coach Teague.
Oh, man, that's cold.
It's already chilly in Hickory, but that Gatorade bath, you'll take it. A winning performance for the third-year head coach with his dad standing like 5 feet from him as well. That makes it special.
His dad's laughing at him because his dad's like, yeah, I'm still kind of warm. You're real cold. Hope he brought extra clothes because it's got to be uncomfortable right now.
Jimmy and Eric Teague now 10 state titles combined for those two. And we'll tick off the final seconds here in Hickory. Brevard put up a good fight all year long, 14-0 until this title game. But there was no stopping the locomotive. It's the football capital of North Carolina. The Reidsville Rams crown them for the 21st time. Dionte Neal, Kendra Harrison, that program loaded with stars, adds a championship. Reidsville, your 4A state champs.
Truly a spectacular performance from the word go in this football game. 2 snaps in, they had 6 points on the board, and you just knew there was a chance that they could do something special, and they get it done.
This offense was clicking on all cylinders today for Eric Teague's unit, his third here, 2 titles. And how about these Reidsville Rams, the most impressive performance of state championship weekend so far. And Reggie, let's talk about some of the big scores for our play of the game. I mean, there were so many to choose from. A Legacy Federal Credit Union, and Dionte Neal took over this game.
Yeah, Dionte Neal was absolutely unbelievable right here. Takes that run off the left side, and look at his speed. Just runs away from absolutely everybody. We saw him earlier in the game as well. Take a screen pass and make a huge play out of it. This guy was all over the place, making plays left and right. We talked about him offensively. Also had an interception on the defensive side, catching the ball, rushing the football. Dionte Neal showing why he's absolutely special. I'd love to see him play football in college, but he's going to UNCG to play basketball.
How about Hannah Brady with the winning coaching staff?
Well, Coach, your team put on a clinic today. What are you most pleased in their ability to close this one out?
It was a full team effort. I mean, we got some guys have had outstanding careers, Hall of Fame type careers. Dionte, Kendra, this senior group, the work they put in over the last 4 years, I'm just so proud of them and the job they've done all off season, from the upset loss last year in the second round all the way to this moment. They've been pushing us to get us back here, and then they went out and performed today.
Dionte Neal and Kendra Harrison making history today, winning 2 state championships in both basketball and football. Talk to me about them, their impact on this program, as well as the other seniors.
Yeah, there's been 2 Hall of Fame guys. I probably won't coach another guy like them. I hope I get a chance to, but the odds of that are pretty slim. Those are 2 pretty special players, and everything that they do, they're winners. They could go play baseball, tennis, bowling, whatever it is, they're going to compete and they're going to try to go win, and I'm glad they're on my team.
Well, Coach, after falling short last year, losing in the second round, you come back, you win your 2nd state championship. What does this mean to you in this program?
It's big for me. Like I said, it's been a dream I blew out the candles to as a 5-year-old all the way to this point. It was big for me and my family just to continue the tradition, the excellence that my dad set back in the 90s to now. And I got to experience a little bit as a player and assistant coach, but then now to do it as a head coach for the 2nd time is big. It means a lot to me, and credit to my coaches and staff who do a great job over the season.
We'll enjoy this one. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Evan.
Thank you, Hannah. We'll be right back with a trophy presentation, the Reidsville Rams and the Brevard Blue Devils. When we come right back, time to hand out some trophies and celebrate these state champions here in 4A of North Carolina.
I think that one over there would be closer. We gotta go up and around. You're
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the video awards presentation. Presenting for this game will be NCHSAA Vice President Garrett and NCHSAA Commissioner Tucker. And then we ask the champions of the state champions to join their head coach for the state championship flag and championship banner. Members of the state champions also receive special.
Time to celebrate the 4A state champions, Reidsville. They're the football capital of this state for a reason. They said it's a party in the Ville, and Kendra Harrison, Dionte Neal, and his talented senior class. Also worth noting, 6 different players scored a touchdown today. It wasn't just the stars. It was everybody getting involved for Reidsville.
Yeah, they really, I thought, did an excellent job of spreading the football around. I thought the first play of the game, getting the ball to LaDon Hatfield, kind of sent a message that you're going to have to deal with everybody on this football field. And I think that right away was the beginning of opening things up for Dionte Neal and Kendra Harrison as well.
Tristan Thompson-Wynn named the most outstanding player for Brevard. He had over 100 yards receiving. Jax Whitmire, one of the captains defensively. And Brevard, their first trip since 1982. I mean, you see the pride in this facility. It was loaded with Brevard Blue Devil fans.
A ton of blue in this place. Ton of it.
Coach Coleman noted this was a city-defining moment for the Brevard area. Just a lot of pride, a lot of tradition coming together. And yes, it comes up short in the title game, but nothing to be ashamed of. A great run for the 4A state bracket. And Kendra Harrison named your offensive MVP of the 4A state title. Hard to choose between him and Neal with what they did today. And Tyson Broadway also been on the MVP conversation.
Dionte Neal's got to be looking around going, what about me?
I think he'll take it. Right? Yeah. 2 titles in basketball, 2 titles in football. Broadway, the quarterback, 4 passing touchdowns. Wow, 10 of 11 for 283.
I don't think Dionte...
Yeah, just wanted to make sure we had that number correct.
10 of 11. Dionte Neal gets the most valuable player. Does he have room for that trophy? I don't know if he has room for that trophy at home.
The man playing his final football game before heading to UNCG to play hoops next season. He'll have one more crack at the basketball title this spring. But what a prolific career for Neal and Harrison in this senior class at Reidsville.
And they get to hang another banner.
Coach Teague noting the moment when he was 5 years old wanting to win a state title. That was his wish with his dad, Jimmy, who won 9 of them. Eric adds 2 of his own in just 3 short seasons.
Incredible accomplishment. And look, it's one thing to know you've got the talent to do it, but getting that talent to fully buy in consistently to go get the victories to do it is a whole nother conversation. This is a program and a team that could have folded when they were 1-2 earlier this season. They didn't. They finished strong. They finished on a run. They finished 13-2 in state champions.
How about those Reidsville Rams? One final picture and a chance to celebrate one of the more prolific 4-year runs in state history here in North Carolina, especially in the modern history. What we do have as well as our player of the game. We noted Dionte Neal as the MVP, our affordable dentures and implants player of the game. And I mean, these numbers are crazy, but Neal did things all over the field.
Yeah, he really did. Right here, look at this. The screen right here, and makes a couple people miss, and you just knew he was going to continue to make plays. And right here, he takes a little bit of a pitch, makes a guy miss. He's up the sideline. I mean, this guy is so much fun to watch when the ball's in his hands. Then he goes and lines up at quarterback. I think that's the most spectacular thing. He can line up out wide. He can line up in the slot. He can line up at running back. He can play quarterback. He does so many things for you. And it was, and we mentioned it at the top. For Brevard, defensively, it was going to be, where in the world is Dionte Neal? Unfortunately, they found him a lot, but he was in the end zone.
What an end for those two super seniors and this entire Reidsville program. We want to take a moment now to thank the wonderful folks at the NCHSAA for the broadcast partners, for setting up this tournament, for bringing us here to Lenoir, Rhyne, and all these sponsors: Affordable Dentures, Foundation Solutions, Tip Top Roofing, Air Experts. You see the list: Tatum and Atkinson, Original Grills, Legacy Federal Credit Union, Ingalls. So many people who help make these championships possible, and we appreciate your help with watching and enjoying these games. We got a lot more state titles coming up later today. The 2A here in Hickory, and then the 3A and the 5A over in Durham County. It's a loaded afternoon of football. Thanks for joining us for the 4A NCHSAA Class Championships. The broadcast presented by Affordable Dentures and Implants. Our fantastic crew: Reggie Walker, Hannah Brady, Evan Budrovich, Drew D. Marcantonio, Lori Bates, keeping the crew entertained. And it was a coronation. The winningest program in the state brings home a 21st title. Reidsville Rams, your state champions. Stick around for more high school football all day here in North Carolina.
Ever since my boots first hit these streets,